Okay, here's a video on chord lengths inside of circles. The chords might be in the circles or out of the circles, but we're talking about chord lengths. Here's what you got to remember. If you have two chords inside of a circle, then you say part times part equals part times part. So it's like A times B equals C times D. It's just this part of the segment and this part, if I multiply them together, will equal these two multiplied together. Let's watch how it works. Here's a good example. Part times part equals part times part. 3 times 4 equals 2 times 6. See how it works? Both of those are 12. Alright, let's set one up. Alright, we have 5 times 4. 5 times 4 equals part times part. I always list the number first, so 10 times the other part, which is x. 5 times 4 is 20, and I divide by 10, and I have x equals 2. This is, when the two chords are inside the circle, it's really not that difficult. Part times part equals part times part. So 8 times 9, this part times this part, equals x times 12. And we always put the variable first. It just works out better that way. So 12x. 8 times 12 is 72. That equals 12x. And then I divide by 12. And I have x is equal to 6. Alright? Not bad at all. What about tangent lengths, though? This is a little bit trickier. The rule is you take the outside of the line segment and you multiply it by the whole line segment. The whole part is what really confuses a lot of young people. The whole part means we got to take whatever's on the outside and combine it with whatever's on the inside. So this line right here is actually 6. And see, I took the outside of this one and I combined it with all of the inside. This is 9. So when I say the outside times the outside of this line is 3. The whole line is 6. Outside of this one is 2. The whole thing is 9. So I have 18 equal 9. That's the rule. It'll work every time. So let's watch. The outside of this line is x. The whole thing is 8. And I always put the 8 in front of the variable. Equals, the outside of this line is 2. The whole line is 2 plus 10 more. So the whole line is 12. So now I have 8x equals 24. And I just divide by 8. I have x equaling 12. Or, what in the world? Excuse me. I have x equaling 3. Oops. Excuse the mistake. I guess I was looking at this 12. 24 divided by 8 is 3. Alright, watch this one. The outside of this line is x. The whole line is also x. So I have x times x equals. The outside of this line is 4. The whole line is 4 plus 5 more. The whole line is 9. That part right there is what confuses young people the most. The whole line is 9. Alright, so x times x is x squared equals, and 4 times 9 is 36. And now I'll take the square root of that. So the square root of x is x, and the square root of 36 is 6. So this amount right here is 6. Alright, look at this one. We have the outside here is x. The whole thing is x again. So I got x times x again, and that equals. Okay, the outside of this circle. Well, look. You have to figure out, okay, the outside is 20. But the whole thing is 20. The outside is going to be from here to here. Well, it's 15 from right here to here. So what I have remaining, if the whole thing is 20, this section is 5. So now I have the outside is 5 times the whole thing, and it has it labeled here as 20. So I have x squared equals 100. Take the square root. I have x equals 10. Alright, these are the hardest kinds of questions to get when you have a variable in there. Just follow the same steps. This part's easy. Watch. The outside is 10. The whole thing is 10. So 10 times 10. Now this one, the outside is 5. The whole thing, we can't combine these. They're not like terms. The whole thing that I'm going to multiply 5 by all of this, the whole thing is 5 plus 3x. And that step right there really throws people off sometimes. So be very careful with that. 10 times 10 is 100. And then 5, distribute it to both of them. 5 times 5 is 25. Plus 5 times 3 is 15. That's x. Excuse that bell. Let's subtract 25 from both sides. Alright, these cancel. I have 75 equals, bring the 15x down. And then I divide by 15. And I have x is equal to 5. That's as hard as it's going to come. If you can do those, then you're good to go. Alright, so here's your 4 extra credit problems. For each of these problems, just tell me what the value of x is. Okay, remember the rules. Part for these, if they're on the inside, it's part times part equals part times part. If they're on the outside, it's outside times the whole, outside times the whole. Show all your work, turn these into Mr. Riddle, get your extra credit.